Test, test, test. All right, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, everybody. We had a little breakdown. Our guest couldn't make it. There's somebody. Who's that? Is that Shanine? Who is that? Hang on a second. Who is that? I can't see. Oh my God, Shanine. That is so fucking weird because I put this post up and I thought, I hope Shanine comes on. God, isn't that crazy?
Isn't it just? You got me.
It's crazy.
How you doing?
Wow. I'm good. I'm just, you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
How are you doing? Well, I shouldn't say.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm tired.
Are
Finn's
you?
going through a sleep regression right now, so it's like I'm up at all hours anyway.
Oh, yeah?
But it's kind of crazy.
So
but I'm all right.
You want to get comfortable? Whatever.
I'm comfy. I'm good.
Yeah, I've been purging all night in dream state, and then physically I've been purging all morning. I had this show with these ladies this morning that I'm producing, and you were on there. I saw you on there. So I got them on. I was 30 minutes late. They waited, and I know this is about the crown chakra, but I didn't know I was going to be on the crown the whole time the show was going on. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I lost about 14 pounds, and then I went back to sleep, and I had these lucid dreams. I kept having these lucid dreams, and they were all over the place, but they were really cool, and they were very clear. And then I'm supposed to do a show, and I wake up at 1. Well, it was my time, 1:47. It's supposed to be at 2, and the dude's like sending me all these notes. I shouldn't talk about this. Anyway, it didn't work out. So,
right.
I was there when the show was supposed to start, and I guess he was having internet problems. So yeah, what's been happening? You look good. You look good.
Thank you.
What's been going on with you?
Pretty much.
Oh, let me put the comments up. I screwed up.
Hang on, I gotta change rooms.
We have a bunch of yeah.
Steve's just told me to move because I'm being noisy.
Yeah. Hey, yes, Lenny Linares, Margie Russo. The purging is super intense. I can't see who wrote that, but yes, they are. And somebody said, baby mom. Morgan Lee. Third time. Oh, Morgan no filter. She's like, third time he's been a no-show. I think some people get intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this person did, but, I think our spider sensitivities are coming into full flow. I'm trying to get this shirt in here, but I keep chopping off my head. See this shirt?
Let me see your shirt.
It's 9 years. 9 years. We still don't have any merchandise.
I love it.
But
I love it.
Marilyn Chambers is working on it.
That's so cool.
So yeah, she's working on it, and things are happening. So, how your show's been going? What's been going on? I've caught a couple little pieces here and there, but man, I can't even think straight. Can you function? I mean, how do you do that? Being a mother, how do you even know to milk? Right?
It's
how do you to nurse?
Honestly, I think I'm just moving with a flow in me right now that isn't really restricted by much. I'm just working with everything exactly as it shows up to me.
Yeah.
I'm not planning anything properly. I'm not chasing anything. And the shows are consistent, and that feels like the only consistency.
Right.
And the responses that I'm getting are really good. And we were going to do a show tonight, but there were some tech issues on the other side of it. But it just feels really flowy at the moment, and it feels like the response is incredible. I've seen a massive difference in the way people are reacting and interacting. That's the most important thing, I think. There's this wave of communication now that feels vital and kind of beautiful.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is kind of the stuff I wanted to talk about. It started with me writing a post last night. Let me acknowledge a couple of things real quick. Who was that? Zana. Yeah, when we have merchandise, we'll let you know. I'm laughing because we've taken so long. But this is what she's talking about. What's the WTF with the timelines? WTF with the linear pressure on the timeline? And as an example, I'm not taking shots at the guest that was coming on today. But if I wake up at 1:47 and I have a show at 2, Morgan will tell you. Sometimes I'm like not even here. Like I can be like, and that's why sometimes I'll even send the guest a note and say, I'm going to be 3 minutes late. I'm rebooting. It's not the computer I'm rebooting. It's me. Because there's times I'll get, the showtime will come and I'll be like 2 minutes. I'm getting out of bed.
Yeah.
I look fresh right now, but at 1:47, I couldn't even see. Right. So I go, I make some coffee. I walk into the bathroom. I wet my hair. I find this shirt. I put it on. I grab the coffee. I sit down. Now it's like 2 minutes before the show starts. Mm-hmm. And I didn't put up a post announcing the show. And I thought about it. I thought, oh, I didn't put up a post announcing the show. And I thought, well, so what?
Yeah.
Like, so what?
Yeah.
Like, how many people even see? So I guess what I'm saying is all the old procedures and the linear, constraints and demands, they're all going to hell in a handbasket. Massive. So I'm not going to feel bad because I've had people hit me up and go down there. I'm not saying this guy did, but I've had guys hit me up and go, people, and they'd say, you haven't put the post up yet. And I'm like, put up your own damn post, I'll put it up when I fucking want to. That's the 5D. And to your point, the 5D is being direct and just telling it like it is. And it's okay. It's okay if your internet went out. It's okay that you told me 15 minutes later. Was your phone working 15 minutes before the show? I'm not picking on him. I'm just trying to say it's okay even if we F up. It's okay for me to say, Shanine, I told you we were going to do this network by the end of 2019, and it's already September of 2020. I'm sorry. I'm busting my ass, but I'm not going to sit here. You know what I mean? You just bring it belly up to the bar, bring your stuff to the table. Mm-hmm. So this started for me last night. You want to read it to you? I'll read it to you. I'll be honest with you. I was having a special night. It was my 5-year anniversary with Morgan Lee, even though she didn't remember. It's so cool. And the guy remembers and the woman doesn't remember. And so I went and got some refreshments, and I was sitting in the garage and I was chilling out. And I was actually drinking some Guinness, which I haven't done in a long time. I don't like to drink Guinness unless it comes out of a tap. But I'm walking out of the store and I saw this little 4-pack. And I looked at it, I thought, oh, it's calling me. $7.99, I got it. I thought, okay, I'll try it. And it has this little aerator inside the can to keep it as authentic as possible. I poured it in a glass and it was great. So I was having a great time down there. And as I'm working my way through these 4 Guinnesses, I start writing this thing, right? Yeah. And the whole time Morgan's talking to me and she's downloading this stuff. And I'm like, you got to write that. She wrote it once. You know how that goes when you write on your phone and then it disappears? She did it twice and it disappeared. And it was gold. And I didn't tell her at the time, but from my own polarity and my own character, my own personality, I was writing basically the same thing. I wasn't writing the same thing, but it was along the same lines. Mine's going to sound, obviously, and you understand this, because we're alike, a little bit more radical than what she would have been saying. So I haven't posted this, and I don't know that I would, but we got to be real, right?
Yes.
So I said, what's the real disclosure? Is it fascism, racism, homophobia, pedophilia, oligarchy, corruption, secret space, breakaway civilization, or is it COVID, mask, programming, GMOs, fluoride, chemtrails, or maybe it's the toilet paper thing? Maybe the universe's way of making us take a look at our own shit. Nah, it's the one thing that all the other things distract from us, whether the 1% did it in their inexplicable power or by all of us perfectly designing it from the higher realms, I am so. We are the hidden element. We're both the mission and the prize. We're just waking up. We're past waking up. because we are fucking woke, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that enough to be woke? Oh, hell to the no. What are we going to do with it? It's important to talk about the big elephant in the room, the it, as in why we're here, and why is all this bullshit happening? Transformation is the order of the day. It's about you and me, the power we are holding, the grace we are unfolding. Take heed in the obscure, remote, and unique. We are goddesses, gods in the flesh. Don't let anything, anyone, any country, culture, creed, idea, belief hold you back. You are soul. And soul is the goddess. Change ourselves, own it all, in ourselves, and we change the external. That is a fucking boom. Blame it on something else or own that shift in ourselves. Yeah, you get me? So, what I was trying to say was I'm watching these things go on, like everybody.
Yeah.
We're both in we do the same thing. So I know that you are aware and you watch other people. I do.
Have to.
Yeah, you just say, okay, you pick up on nuances, and just different things. And I remember when I started 9 years ago, I noticed that a woman could come on, put a picture of herself up, say something totally, just meaningless, and get 700 views, 700 likes or something. I'd be like, what the F? So in the early days, I had my shirt off, and I didn't care. I was doing crazy stuff. I had to take a picture with my pants down to my ankles and my underwear on in the kitchen, and I did all kinds of stuff. But I was actually doing it to gain attention because I felt like I had something to offer. So having said that, I then went through this metamorphosis like I know you did because you talked about it before, which was I don't care. I just put it out now. I don't look back. I don't care how many likes, how many views, because I know at a higher level, this shit's getting done. Mm-hmm. So I've noticed recently that conspiracy discussions sell. Mm-hmm. Disclosure discussions sell. Mm-hmm. I saw there's a really good channel, New Earth Project, that has some cutting edge stuff. I went on there, not stuff that I necessarily would do or you would necessarily do, but I happened to chime in, and I always flip through them, and I flipped through it, and there was a guy, and there was a couple other people. I think I don't know. I've seen Sasha Stone on this show too, on this program, and the guy says we need to talk about these things. We need to talk about the lady that was pregnant in Australia that got arrested. We need to talk about Black Lives Matter. We need to talk about police brutality. We need to talk about COVID is bullshit. We need to talk about all this stuff. And I thought, there it is, right there. Except for one thing. We do need to talk about it. And what we need to talk about is what is talked about on shows like yours and SOULSPEAKS 5D and people like that. We need to talk about what the fuck are you going through? We need to talk about the fact that for an hour, Todd was sitting on the crown today, purging his ass off, no pun intended, okay? We need to talk about the real shit. We don't need to talk about the history anymore. We don't need to talk about the stories. We don't need to talk about who the fuck I'm channeling or what galactic family I come from. We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about, I'm in a divine partnership. We don't need to talk about these are the ways and the means that got us here. Now, just like this little write-up that I didn't have the balls to put up last night because I was actually too inebriated and I know better. What is the real disclosure? Yeah. This is what we need to talk about. These people that come on these shows and they tell us, I've been seeing fairies for 20 years. Mm-hmm. The guy yesterday, I went to go see my friend Angela Dwell in Montana. I live in Florida or wherever, Georgia. And my guides told me to go. I don't have a job. I go, I get a one-way ticket and I'm driving down the road with her. And there's these centaurs, this family of centaurs comes down, starts talking to me. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we need to be talking about.
This is where the power is. That's where there's this vast, I want to interrupt you to say this, right? There's this vast level. I spoke about this earlier. The guest didn't come on and I started riffing And sometimes I hear myself and I have these like realizations as I'm speaking, right? And something that became very clear to me was that I was still carrying on some level some cognitive dissonance around the truth of my experience here as I ascend, and then also still accepting and attempting to embody this other reality. And I said I could see this split in my head, right?
Yeah.
And the only way I can cope with it right now is standing in a middle way, right? And staying in observance of it all and continue to do my inner work on that basis. There's like this concept of belief, right? Like there's no such thing as belief, because we are what we are. If we're coming from the right angle, we already see, we already know that we are these grand beings and we have so much power, so much potential. And all of these conversations where we speak with integrity to the truth are the ways in which that we can activate and change. However, right, as the whole world is crumbling, right, there is a vast level of cognitive dissonance occurring where we are still attaching to the old human extremities, right, the old polarity patterns, right, and feeling like that is how we relate, right. Morgan put something up about maybe an hour ago about human love and divine love, and that really meant a lot to me in that moment, because what she brought up was that there's this sense of like the human aspect is tired, right? The human aspect is triggered, tired, exhausted, and the first thing we lean on is each other and our familiar states, right? We are now becoming so, almost kind of not taken, not always seriously, me included, right? The aspects that are so much more obvious, much more powerful, the divine in me, right? I have all these examples, the synchronicity, the expansion, the revelation, the things that are coming in. It's huge. Like, I'm not even talking about it anymore, Todd, because there's no point, right? Yeah. It's like, this is what's happening in my life now, and I accept that. Yeah. What I am struggling with is this aspect of me that still wants to feel united with, attached to, connected to everyone else in their experience, right? The thing that's getting in the way is our attachment to each other and this need to align with whatever is being presented to us. Like, full sovereignty is difficult when there are two worlds colliding in this moment. And me being, right, like transmitter from 4D, right? Even though it's gone now, right? I can see that, right? Because I struggle with it myself. I struggle to stay in this line of truth despite all of the evidence and despite none of the evidence at the same time. Like, it is so important that we are aligning with our full vision, our full reality, and accepting I am soul, right? Seeing that fully and allowing that to be in our every decision. But sometimes it is hard. And me as a new mother especially, because I'll get in it, like, being frank, in the same way that you are, I did a lot of decoding around the family unit last week. And so not even a couple of days ago, I've no concept of time anymore. And one of the things that I saw is that family, in essence, the coding that is within that, the programming that is within that, is sometimes very tough on us, And in this moment in time, as when we do not choose from a space of sovereignty, when we do not choose from a space of pure love for ourselves, it is much, much easier to fall back on, right, those old codependent patterns, right? And the codependent patterns now are showing up in what we're talking about, right? It's like, oh, if everybody else is talking about this, then I should, right? If everybody else is focusing on this, then I should. Like, the unique being, the essence of our soul, is a very, very unique trajectory. Everything that we're being given right now, supporting what Amanda Lawrence has said, is incredibly individualized, right? Everything that we're going through on this passageway, as she said, is incredibly individualized. And that's a little bit scary. That's a little bit challenging, because no matter what is happening for every individual right now, the collective experience is only as much as we make it. Yeah. What we are listening to on the within is paramount to our experience here and realizing our essential nature. The unification that is necessary now, this connection with each other, happens in the moments when we get really, really honest. And in truth, it's not showing up everywhere yet. Yeah. It's not showing up everywhere yet because of this needing to align with each other and all of the conversations that are not about us.
Yes, right? That's right. That's what I'm talking about. We're getting caught up in, so we get caught up, and this is a great example of what you're talking about with family, because that's probably the deepest one, right?
Yeah.
And I'm lucky. I'm really lucky because I've actually watched this happen. Most of that stuff happened to me early on, like when I started, like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 years ago. And when Morgan came, helped me kind of clear the rest of it. So 3, 4 years ago, I pretty much cleared my family stuff. And that's with 6 kids and a whole bunch of shit in the past. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're right about that, because I see a lot of people struggling with that now. But as an example, okay, the attachment to the stories and all the stuff you're talking about, what Amanda said, the bottom line is, it is scary. You know why it's scary? Because we have the power, and therefore we have the responsibility as co-creators. Mm-hmm. We have, you can say, we consented to this stuff that went on in this realm, and there's these 1%ers and the Illuminati and all this bullshit. Okay. You can hang on to that, and you can let it continue to handicap you. And you can say, yeah, we have always been creators, but we were unconscious. Mm-hmm. Now we're conscious. And that's what I was trying to write, and I'll eventually put out. That's what I was trying to say is, look, you cannot use the excuse anymore that you didn't know. Yeah. And you cannot use the excuse, you cannot, because it's irresponsible. Because we are affecting everyone. If I have a thought, mm-hmm. like the guest today, I'm just going to be frank. You know, we've had a couple of situations before. He didn't show up. He was very demanding. He's back on the schedule. First thing, I'm just sleepy still. I'm working. I'm like, my head, you know, I'm in the ascension with all of you. You know, it ain't an easy trip. And I'm thinking, F you, pal. But I stopped. And I went, oh, wait a minute. Alt, Control, Delete, because we can do that. And I took it back. I took the thought back. I sucked it in, and I went, okay, all blessings, brother. All blessings. I'm back to work. It's gone. Okay, this is what we have to do, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, we can say all we want. We can do all we want. We can portray ourselves all we want. We can blow smoke up our ass all we want, and the people that observe us. But if my thoughts are sending negative energy, I don't give a shit how much you rationalize it or substantiate it, okay? Because you can rationalize and substantiate anything you want. Yeah. But if my thoughts are not positive and pure, mm-hmm. and mature, and this is what we're doing. This is what we're working out. This is the template that we're creating. And what Morgan was on to last night was phenomenal, because what she was describing was that no matter what's going on right now, her human is required to be fully 100% present, and her higher aspects will not allow her to avoid it. Like, they will not do it for her. And she says, well, we can go up in dimension and do this. But she's said, and many other people have said for years and years and years, you have to embody it. It doesn't mean anything. And I think that's what the universe is doing. It's making us bring the human in front and center, leading the alignment of all of our multidimensional aspects as we march down this road, as we march down the soul highway. And that means feeling every emotion, having empathy for the people in Melbourne, you know, for the young black men that are being, and for the police officers, and for whatever. And channeling those emotions into a transformational product of our Akashic plus our experience equals our offering to the expansion of the universe. And I think that this is where we're getting. And I think that what's happening is our higher selves, or whatever you want to call it, is saying, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. No, that's not going to work. And I really don't see any other way around it other than like this, like the human totally involved, you know, warts and all, and you know, emotions and all. And it's not even about the information, like the instruction. It's about the frequency of honesty and truth and full vulnerability and absolutely no inhibitions. Why would you have any inhibitions in an atmosphere of purity?
Yes.
There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be inhibited about.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's pure.
I feel like one of the key like triggers for me at the minute, and I'm still undoing a lot of my unconscious programming, so I haven't hit exactly what's happening. It's that everything that used to define me from a place of empowerment, right? What would have been considered false power in the previous times, like my work, like who I was, like even my selfhood. There was like 3 or 4 days where I wasn't me anymore, right? And I'm starting to work in, and I don't mean I was a different person, I mean I was no one. For a couple of days I was nobody, right? And I had to sit with that nobodiness, right? And it was like just watching my life going, this isn't my life, this isn't me, I don't understand why I'm here, right? And all of this was coming up, and I'm starting to experience my life now from a different angle, like, and I'm having to really look at every single choice. Everything feels big, but I think it's meant to. I'm not sure, but I think it is. And where I get stuck, right, is because I live in the matrix system. I'm still in that, right? And my husband is still in that. And we're raising a child from two opposing dynamics, right? So a lot of what I do, like, he gets it and he supports it, but he doesn't, right? So he's like, I'm not sure what you're doing, right? I don't know why this is a thing, right? And he will always allow me the room to do what I need. But then that triggers me to take actions at times that are out of alignment. And it causes a lot of self-doubt at times too, where I'm trying to stay clear. And sometimes I walk into this world, right, that I've created online, and this free expression of who I am. And then I have to come offline, and I'm facing all of the same stuff everybody else is. And it's so hard. It takes so much work. But at the same time, I see the gift in it, right? Because in a sense, it's perfect for me personally, and that's the only person I can talk about right now. Because the work that I am doing with zero pointing, it's all there. But it's non-stop. Right? At the minute, I am non-stop undoing. And there are going to be blind spots, but I've got to give myself the greatest amount of respect, right? And the greatest amount of love for facing everything that I am at the moment. And I see the perfection in it all, and I honor it. You know, and I feel as well, a lot of us have been in some way switched off, right? There was a time where I had nothing, and I think some of us are going through that right now, where there's nothing coming in, there's no sense of self, there's no identity, there's no like egoic projection to be done, right? Like there's nothing to project upon. And even if you do, it doesn't work, it dies, you know? And, you know, the whole of my being now is simply facing and working with exactly what's here, because I don't know shit.
That's right.
I don't know shit, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it because I'm doing my work. And I feel like the more open we can become, right, with these conversations, and the more open we become with the I don't know, right, and I'm confused, or I'm scared, or I'm unsure, or what the hell am I here for, all of that stuff, the easier it's going to be, you know, that unity consciousness, that frequency, that purity, then becomes something that is accessible for all of us. Like, it can look sometimes on like my Facebook page or on my feeds or in the conversations that I am living this deeply conscious life. I'm not. I'm in a constant battle with one other aspect of myself, right? And I am trying so hard right now not to battle it and use it as the gift that it is. But it is not always free flowing, or it is not always easy.
No.
Like, we've still got like bills coming in the door. I still don't know what I'm going to be doing in 6 months. Like, I am, you know, at times I'm coming on and I'm like, right, I'm going to do 10 shows this week and everything's amazing. And I'll be hit with something so 3D. Like, I didn't get enough sleep, or I've like not taken care of myself properly, or someone's pissed me off with something stupid.
Yeah, 2 minutes before a show starts.
Yeah, exactly.
You get that
right?
one? Yeah.
And you're just off. You're off your game. And because of how amplified everything is now, it's so easy to drop into old patterns. But, you know, this is what I know about myself, right? And every moment that I have dropped away or dropped into something, I've always turned it into something else. It's always able to be created into shift, if not for me in that moment, but for another, and simply being expressed. And it's that expression, I think, that's everything. And I noticed myself as well, and this is important, and I want to just share, and I'll stop talking now in a
No,
second.
no,
I
no.
have a
You're
terrible habit of
good,
like talking
man.
constantly.
We got plenty of time. Nobody else showed up, so the floor is ours. What the hell?
But this is the thing that gets me, right? It's like when I'm like I've dropped out because I start to defend myself.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
make a decision and I start coming up with an argument, right, as to why I'm doing something in opposite to everything else I'm trying to hold. Like I want, right, and these are the things that I want, feel, align with, right? A fully resonant, fully pure, fully authentic, fully like open floor experience of my reality, right? Where I am not encumbered by anything.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's been so heavy on me lately, and I know this isn't what he meant at the time, when Martin McNichol wrote about celebrity,
Yeah.
right? That really wound me up, right? And confused me a lot, right? Because I went, this is what's been bothering me. Yeah. It's like I've wanted to show up fully authentic, still carrying the trappings of an old way of having operated, right?
Yeah.
And on one level, right, I was showing up denigrating myself, Todd. I was coming in with all my programs and my shadow, and I was ripping into who I am. And now I'm in this space of having felt the full divinity of myself. I am holding that whole I am soul frequency. And I get the purity of who I am, and I love fully this vessel. But I am still navigating, extricating all of that right now. Right? I am still trying to let go of that. And I can only work with what's in front of me moment by moment. Right?
That's
and
right.
I trust that.
That's right. All of that's right. And I got to say this too. I'm not just saying this to you because you're my friend. I'm saying this to you because I'm saying it to everybody because it's a perfect example, a perfect physical representation of an energetic transformational blast. And because we look at the big stuff. Well, from the human perspective, we look at the big stuff. Oh, he or she organized a march of 10,000 people. And, yes, there's some merit to that. But the real merit is happening inside. And we think, oh, well, go within. Da, 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 da. No, this is about the human not being left out. The human is the hero. This is about the merging of the physical and the non-physical. And it's as literal and as minuscule a place or an intersection that you can imagine. It's at a subatomic level. And it has this incredible, I want to say devastating as in terms of like deconstructing the bullshit, but it has this explosive capacity to it. What I'm talking about is not just your shows, but your writing. Like you come out, and there's other people that do this. I'm just using this as an example. You come out and you say all this stuff. You actually say it. So one day you're up, the next day you're down. You are actually narrating the ascension through your personal story, basically. Well, and Morgan wrote 2 posts the other night. This like 2-3 nights ago. One of them had to do with this experience we had, where my feminine popped out of my body, her masculine popped out of no bullshit, straight up. She made love to me. I was like, do anything you want me to. And I'm being funny, and it was an incredible experience. And there was quite a response to it. But then she wrote a second one about an hour later, which she doesn't normally do, and it was just raw. It was like, oh my God, this is what I'm feeling. And I mean, and not only did 1,000 people attached to it, but like 300 or 400 people had comments, and they weren't like little comments like "Go girl." They were like, "Let me tell you what happened to me." You know what I mean? Let me tell you what happened to me. Oh my God, I feel you, sister. Oh my God, I had one lady send me a thing. Give me your mailing address. She's in Australia. I'm going to send Morgan about poor Morgan. I mean, she wasn't looking for sympathy or anything like that. She was just laying it out there like you do. And this is what I'm talking about. I would love to get David Icke on. I really respect and admire David Icke. I think he woke up many, 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 many people in this world, but I do think we're beating a dead horse now. Sasha Stone, I'm just going to put it out there. Anybody know him? We talked to him a couple times over the years. And this is why, not because they're big names, but because I want to know what the fuck is going on with them. I want to know, what's it like for you? I want to know, why is it so important to bring these things to the surface? Do you have a wounded healer archetype program still running, like we all have? Are you paying as much attention or more to yourself than you are to what's going on in the external? Are you distracting yourself? Do you get knocked on your knees from the solar flares? What does this human resonance mean to you? Have you ever woke up and thought, what the fuck? I'm full of shit. I just want to get out of here. Have you ever had suicidal thoughts? What do you think of your mother or your father? Yeah. This is the real shit. And so I look at these. I question anything that gets a lot of views. Anything. I question the pregnant lady in Australia getting arrested. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen, and I'm not saying anything about her. But is it a distraction from ourselves? Yeah. Can we have a discussion about this? Can we have a discussion about, and stop using it as a new ageism or a cliche? Can we have a discussion where we say, you know what? I can fucking change everything in this world. One soul can turn it around. One soul can turn it around because it's contingent and predicated based on my own internal transformation. Yeah. So either we're going to walk the talk, or let's just stop talking about it. Let's stop saying I am soul. Let's stop saying I can change the world from the inside out. Let's stop distracting ourselves and lying to ourselves and making excuses and saying, oh, well, I can't do it because they're not going to do it. Fuck that shit. We can do this. This is what Jesus did. This is what Buddha did. This is what Joan of Arc did. This is what, but now we got hundreds of thousands, millions. Okay. I'm asking the lady yesterday, how many people in the world do you think do light language? I bet you it's a boatload. Yeah. I bet you it's a boatload of people. Mm-hmm. So this is the stuff that if we just talk about it, it's not about instruction. It's not about, well, it is about disclosure. It is about disclosure. It is about conspiracy, but not at the lower level, National Enquirer level. It's, yeah, we set up this master plan and created a conspiracy to keep us from finding ourselves. The real disclosure is we are limitless. We're gods and goddesses in the flesh, and we can actually actualize all of our powers, all of our higher sensitivities, skills, and abilities in the flesh. Yeah. We don't have to go into dream state. We don't have to go into dimension. This is the dimension. We're not just transforming ourselves, we're transforming the dimension. So if we just talk about this stuff and give the human its props and get off the fucking pity pot and get off these distractions, not that they don't mean anything, but they are no different than the code that comes in from our higher selves. It's just trying to wake us up. You want all the suffering to stop? You want all the kids in the world to eat and have a meal? Okay? Then turn your shit around. Mm-hmm. And stop focusing on everything out there. This is one of the gifts of a divine union. This is one of the gifts of a partnership. We don't have to call it divine union. Call it a partnership like you have. Yeah. This is one of the gifts because you can look at these mirrors now and you can go, it ain't them, it's me. I don't give a shit what she said, did. It doesn't matter. It's me, you know? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about us. Let's make that the mainstream, you know?
Yes. Yes. It's, I love when you riff. See when you get like really on it like that. It's one of my favorite things.
It's your fault.
It's my fault.
Morgan would be number one. She has a way, over the years, she has a way of like lighting my fire.
There's a lot of energy, right?
Yeah.
Put behind staying rigid. Yeah. Everything has to collapse eventually, right? And everything that we're hanging on to that makes us feel stiff, and that's unique to every individual right now, whatever it is that we are faking will fall. It always does. And we are being shown right now the most perfect instantaneous reflection of everything that we're putting out there. Like, I feel, even in my own nonsense, and even in a situation where I am seeing two worlds always, right? I've never felt so held, so loved, so empowered by my heart. Like, and that's the thing, it's trusting that, like, when you're in it, your heart is speaking so loudly. Like, and when you are feeling all of the deep feels, it's only love that you're able to see. And I've said this before, right? That, we're designed perfectly. And that when we have lifted out of something, we tend to forget that when we were in it, the thing that screamed at us, the thing that stood out, was like pure, like unrefined, raw love.
Yeah.
Right? And that is a gift that we get to give ourselves now. That is something that we get to express and hold and cherish and share in our mess, right? Like, I'm in my pajamas right now with no makeup on. You've no idea how much I've evolved in the last 2 years. Like, look at me, right? This is something we get to celebrate now as part of our creation. That the human gets to go along for the ride.
Yeah.
It feels rigid to show up. Like, I can channel, I can do all that stuff, right? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I do not lead with that.
That's
right? And in fact, I've had to let go of a lot of nonsense in my head where I could actually bring it back in again, right? Where it's like, I can do this, but from a place that's pure and not answerable to a celebrity identity, and I'm not chasing anyone, right? Where it's like, if I've got stuff to share, I'm going to share it, but it's not about me anymore. Like, we have to see, feel, honor, respect, and value every little indication that the human body tells us that we are holding on to anything. And that rigidity, that lack of honesty, that inauthentic expression of divinity, it doesn't serve, right? And it's that split that I see, because it's something that I've walked through and I'm still walking through. Like, this here is divine. That experience you had there now, last night, right? Your Guinness. Right?
Yeah. Oh,
right?
That's all turning into
it's all metaphor for the I am soul.
Yes,
and being
exactly.
Being present with that is sometimes hard. But look at the experiences. Like, this is what I love about the shows, Todd, right? And I need to say this, and I'm going to get impassioned now, but I don't care.
Good,
right?
Good.
It's those moments where someone is just in themselves, like fully in whatever they're feeling.
Yeah.
And they're just saying what they're saying, and they're loving where they're at, or they're not loving where they're at. And you can tell, right, that they're not hiding a single thing. It doesn't matter what they're talking about, right? It doesn't matter whether they're the incarnation of Krishna or not, right? We all can do these things now, right? We all know what that's all about. Like, holding hands and feeling that frequency with someone, being with them on the etheric level in these shows as they are opening, that's what's most powerful to me, right? That's where divinity lives, inside of a human face that says, I don't care anymore. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I don't care whether I'm getting anything right. I don't care, right, whether my shift looks better than this person's shift. I don't care if I can't get a nice filter over my flipping light language transmissions, right? Because that was the thing that was bothering me for ages, right? Like, stupid little thoughts like that. Once they go, that's when everyone's hearts open. That's when the magic starts to happen. I wrote about this earlier. The heart is a portal, right? And in every transmission, every connection between two people, we are forever changed, right? This moment is a timeline shift, right? The next moment is a timeline shift. If you allow it be. So where you feel the rigidity, where we are feeling trapped anywhere, even if it looks nice on the outside, drop it. I had to, right? This is an example, and I'm talking too much, right?
No, you're not talking too much.
Okay. I have this big page, right? And I was really, really, really stressed out about this for a long time. And people were tired listening to me talking about it. But I was working as a clairvoyant, right? I then realized that mattered little. I realized that the work itself was a limitation. And I also realized that what I had built for myself was a limitation. And I had this page of like 6,600 and something people, right? And I shut it down, right? And that feels like a really small action, but it's a reflection of me now honoring vibrationally, energetically, what doesn't hold me rigid or captive, right?
Yeah.
I want to be in my full, complete expression here because I can see and feel what it does to the consciousness, right? I no longer hold judgment against myself, therefore I cannot any longer hold judgment against my brother and sister. And that is the first step, right, to all of the other stuff flowing in. The universe blesses me every day, right? And that's a conscious effort, right? Until it isn't. Yeah. Recently it's not, right? The signs are everywhere. I was so happy with Morgan recently where she put up that beautiful piece about how the universe speaks to us in a language that is not consistent with like one dimension or another, right? We are consistently always being communicated with, right? If you're listening to this transmission, if you're here for the show, the universe is speaking to you. God is speaking to you through the two voices that are Todd and Shireen, right? And then everything else that shows up in your life is the same, right? I am here now, right, on this earth. My purpose and my mission and my passion is to show up in my fullness, minus the miracles, right? Let them happen by accident. Because then people will realize and see and understand, as I have done in my own heart, that we are the miracles ourselves. The miracle of being alive here, being present here, right? That's not a sidebar to all these other things that we allow distract us. May it be the Black Lives Matter conversation, may it be whether or not we can channel deities, may it be whether we can do light language or not. That love, that expression, that freedom from all of the programming, that's what we're here for. And that's when the gifts come. Yeah. The real ones. Yeah.
Yes. Hell, what am I supposed to say about that? There's nothing I can say about that. But, yeah, it just, I had another example in my head. Oh, so, yeah, because we have to be real. All right. I still get charged, obviously, I think I've come a long way.
I don't. I sit in a cloud. I sit in a cloud. I don't get charged ever.
I see this contemporary.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is about me. Let me make that very clear. It's about me. So I have this contemporary and this person. Oh my God, Todd, please don't get too, I don't want to go too raw. I don't want to go street on you, but I know who I am and I know what I do and I hold myself accountable and I have a beautiful mirror in my life that holds me accountable. So, I am where I'm at. And I have this contemporary that triggers me to look at my own lack of authenticity. It triggers me to take a deeper look at my do I use people, manipulate people, misrepresent myself? I mean, all these things, right? And I see maybe certain doors open for this individual that don't open for me. Now, this is the human looking at this going, okay, what the fuck, right? Like, you know what? And trying not to go into the old alpha male competitor because I'll bury your ass, right? And so this is what Morgan was tapping into last night, in my opinion. She was going, because I know who she is, and I think everybody does, like she's got that 20 years of that, like boom, 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 boom. Who do you want to dial? Mother Goddess, the Pleiadian, it's just like boom, boom, boom. I mean, I'm with her. And it's snap,
We're all with her.
You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, when I lay down in bed with her, it's like, boom, like I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to get lucky tonight. Boom, the channel comes in. And I'm like, I guess not. No, I'm kidding. But my point is so she was saying basically that her team is not going to let her human slide. That you're going to have to work through each and every one of the things. If you have to do list after list after list, you have to honor every emotion. You can be pissed off. You can get angry. You can, you can get sad. You can be, have your heart being pulled and tugged because of where you were born, they're locking everybody down like it's fucking Nazi Germany. You can have all these things, but you've got to be 100% present. So I look at this thing and I'm going, okay, so what's the deal here? And then the old loops start to play. What are you doing wrong? I'm not doing anything wrong. What are you doing right? Okay. You're basing this on what? How all of you have measured things in the past by these 3D measurements, likes, money, popularity, whatever your term for success is, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that. I'm like, no. Then what am I doing? Well, here's the new way it works. The way it works is that it's all invisible, that it affects everybody, that everybody's listening, kind of thing. So all of this stuff's coming in, and I love the fact, for me, that the more present the human, the more effective you are. And if the more effective you are, also means the more that comes in. My third eye has exploded 16 times in the last 4 or 5 weeks. It's absolutely exploded. And before I can even get a bearing on it, it happens again. And I guess what I'm trying to say is the more human that we are, the more present that we are, as this is what I'm getting from what, wow, what is that noise? Are we blowing up can you hear that? Do you hear that? What the hell? Can you hear me? What in the hell?
What is that?
I don't know. What happened?
What the hell? You're buzzing.
What? Wow.
What is that?
I don't know. That was crazy. I was just going to say that the more human, the more, the more the soul comes in, the more the gifts. I don't know what's happening here. Obviously, you talk.
Wow, that is amazing. Wow. The more the soul comes in, right?
You sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. She just popped off. I think was that on her end? I don't know what happened. Anyway, it's okay to, like she said, man, it's okay to rant. It's okay to talk about Black Lives Matter. It's okay to talk about what's going on in Melbourne. It's more than okay. But the only rule, or if you want to use that term that applies, is the whole thing about attachment, over-identification and attaching. No different than over-identifying with what essences we channel or what gifts that we think we have that are unique to us, I don't know. I love what's happening. I can feel what's happening. I think this vortex that's been created with the Soulogy and the Freedom Network and all these other things, it's all the people I see in the collective field of that particular vortex reality. I think everyone's getting it. I think we're getting it, and we're doing a fantastic job, and it's incredible. It really is. It's absolutely incredible. That was very strange. Thank you, Shanine Mouland. And thank you, Steve, for putting up with us. And thank you, Finn, for waiting on your mom. He's probably the one, her baby's probably the one that killed the transmission because he's hungry. So we're going to have, thank you, everybody, for coming in. And we're going to have what I understand is a divine union coming on in 20 minutes. Scarlett Ireland, who was on about 3 weeks ago, who was amazing, absolutely amazing. She's coming on. Hello, Alicia Brachet. It's good to see you. Angela Dwell, it's good to see you. Bruce, you're always here. Thank you for always being here. Pamela Johnson, my God. What can we say about Pamela Johnson? Did you guys see that show? Sita Devi, always supporting. Pia Holland, always supporting. Hello, Grace Thomas. So Scarlett Ireland's going to come on with her partner, Kurt Winter. And I think they've been together over 20 years. Phenomenal lady, so I would imagine phenomenal relationship and phenomenal man, you know. And so after that, we have Cleo, I believe her name is Cleo Moore. She's another Australian. Great job, Leilani. She's coming on at 7 p.m. Eastern. Scarlett and Kurt will be on in 20 minutes, and then 2 hours and 20 minutes from now, Cleo Moore, another Australian lady that's, drinking the same Kool-Aid we are. Here's a message from Shanine. She says, her battery died. She can't come back. It's blitzed. Okay, great. All right. So, I'm going to check out and go take a break before the next show. And I look forward to doing this again soon. I'm going to play a little something just to close out. I won't do that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your continued love and support and contributions. Allows us to keep doing this by the seat of our pants every day. That's not a complaint, because this is how the 5D frequency works. It works in real time in the present moment. What you need appears when you need it, no matter what happens. Thank you, thank you, Shanine Moulin. I just want to propose this openly and publicly. I think Shanine and I should have a weekly sit down and with our brothers and sisters and just compare notes. Thank you, everybody. Peace out.